Hello, everybody. Welcome to CIE 407, Grant Writing and Fundraising in Education. My name is Alex Wiseman. I'm your instructor for this class, and I'm really pleased to have an opportunity to talk to you today. This is exciting. We're about to embark on a very fast-paced, but hopefully very productive and very rewarding 8 days of activity. About, I think, 9 days overall. There's a day break in between. And let's just get started. So some things to talk about. One is I want to make sure that everybody has had a chance to just look at the website, because obviously you're on the website. If you're watching this video, you probably linked to it through the page itself. But one of the first things I would suggest that you do in this class is to familiarize yourself with this website and just make sure that everything seems really comfortable and accessible. So the first thing to know is that anytime you want to get back to the front page, the home page, you don't have to click on home. You can just click on this big picture right here that says it's a money thing, or you can click on the title of the course, really anything up here. If you click on it, it'll automatically take you to the home page. And on the home page, you'll see there is a description of the website. There is, my name's hyperlinked. You can go to my own personal website if you'd like and see what I do. It's got a day-by-day agenda on the rest of the site, and you'll see that in the menu here. We've got the homepage, which we're on, announcements, which are blog posts or literally announcements about what's happening with the class. And then you will have each day of the class listed here. Depending on the time of year when you're taking this class, the dates might change. And so if these aren't the dates that align with the time frame that you're taking this class, don't stress out about it. It just means that it's been updated to reflect your dates, not the dates that it currently is. But I think these are correct right now as I'm recording this. And it's a grant writing and fundraising class. That's not a real big shock. I come out of the field of comparative and international education, so you will hear me talk about international education related topics and themes occasionally, but this is a course that is not just for comparative and international education researchers, scholars, or educators. This is for anyone who's involved in education as a practitioner or as a scholar, and wants to look for some money. And in particular, if you're part of a nonprofit organization, which a school would count as a nonprofit organization, this is the class for you. This is a little different from other research classes in that many research classes offered at higher education institutions, especially at the graduate level, tend to focus on funding for research projects. And while that is absolutely something that you could do as part of this course, and with the information that you'll receive and the skills that you'll have at the end of this course, that's not the only focus. We're thinking about how can you write a grant that can be submitted to a funding agency, like a foundation or a local organization, or maybe even a broad international grant-making agency, if that's the kind of thing you're looking for, but that it would cover specific project programs or activities that you would be doing as part of your nonprofit or part of your school or part of your classroom or part of your organization's efforts. So you'll see that there's a section right here specifically dedicated to that, and let me just read it quickly. It says, the course is designed for individuals who are currently working or aspire to work in education-related nonprofits, schools, and educational systems. You, that's you, the student, will create a grant proposal as part of this course related to the primary mission of your organization or agency of choice, or whatever mission is of interest to you or you've been charged with pursuing. You will articulate a fundraising strategy, and you will develop a plan to raise capital, that's on the basis of proposals developed in class. When you complete this course, you'll know how to write a grant proposal, and you'll be able to list actual grant writing experience on your CV or resume. That's very important to me, is that you have that actual experience doing If you're going through this course online, if you're looking at this website as your primary mode of instruction, you should know that this course will take place entirely through online video modules, asynchronous online discussion, and online collaborative experiences. Those will be collaborative in terms of the discussion and how you provide each other with feedback. And then, of course, the final product is a draft funding proposal, which I hope you will actually use to seek for funding. So that's what we're about, and it's exciting to me that you're part of this class. If you want to know more about me, yay for that, I guess. Here's a little blurb on what I do and where I came from. If you want to look at my CV, have at it. If you want to look at my website, awesome. Take a look. Let me know if you're interested in anything that I'm doing. If you look at the announcements page here, you'll see that the last time I posted, gosh, it was back in June. My goodness, it's been a month and a half since I posted. I need to put something in there because we have class starting in just a few days. So take a look at this. If you want, you can also, I think you can, I think there's a way that you can subscribe to this and get the notifications automatically. I'm not sure that I can see that on here, but I think you can. And then you'll see it just goes day by day. And I'm going to click on July 16th because that's the day that you're watching this, or the first day of the session. That's the day you're watching this. Happens to be July 16th right now. But day one, that's what we're doing. If you're watching this video that you're watching is actually right here. I can't put it in until I record it, so it's not in there yet, but this is where it will be. And here's the way you go through the class. Every day, on your own time, because if you're doing this completely online, it's asynchronous. If you're doing this with me as part of a intensive course that's face-to-face, we'll be doing some of this together. So we'll be using the website as well as our in-class discussion. But whatever we do, we're going from the top of the page to the bottom of the page in that order. I put these things in this order for a reason. I think it's important that you start out by knowing what the objectives are. And then you go through learning modules, which will be easily identified because they will say module 1.1 or 1.2. And then you will go to application activities. These are the things that you are expected to do that day and almost always to turn in to me via email, or if we're having this class as a face-to-face thing, you can hand me a hard copy if a hard copy is possible. And then it will tell you what to do sort of moving forward. Right, and then I'll have some final thoughts, which obviously I haven't put in here yet because I'm just recording this day, but you'll see it when you get there. So let me just walk through a little more closely about day one. Day one is all about these three objectives. One is how to determine organization, program, or project readiness for funding. And so part of what you'll be doing in module 1.1, determining readiness, is figuring out ways that your organization, program, or project can be ready for funding, in that it has the infrastructure, it has the capacity, and it has the sustainable leadership to actually do whatever it is you're proposing you need money or funding to do. The second thing we'll do is look at where grants fit in an organization's or programs or projects' overall fundraising strategy. So we'll think a lot about how you approach the fundraising and the grant writing process. And we'll do that in a very introductory way, and I'll show you how that's going to happen in a second. And then third, we look at what's included in the proposal development process. So right off the bat, we need to start thinking about what that proposal development or what that final product is going to look like, and then what you're going to need to do over the next 8 to 9 days to make that happen. So it's broken down into learning modules that align almost exactly in this case, or exactly in this case, with the learning objectives. And then you'll see that there are readings. Some of them are not linked. I'm expecting you all to actually have a copy of the Howell and Bork book. And oh, by the way, I forgot to point out, there's the syllabus is right here. If you look at the top of every day's page, it'll say a live version of the formal course syllabus is linked here. You need to be logged into Lehigh with your username and passwords, Lehigh Google with your username and password in order to access it. I should also change this. We are going to be in room 110 this summer. My goodness, why does that say that? Now, do I have the right dates? It'll be the 16th to the 19th. Yeah, that's right. Okay. All right. So this is one of the reasons why I say it's a live document, meaning that I might make changes to the syllabus as we're working through, as I find things that are incorrect, like I just did, and you saw me change them, or as you point out things that are missing, and so I will make adjustments. You'll see that there is a course description here and some objectives for the course overall. You'll see a bit of an introduction to the modes of instruction. You'll see that we are very much committed to not plagiarizing. That's what this mostly is about. There are severe consequences for plagiarizing, so please don't do that. You will see that if there is any reason that you need an accommodation, all you have to do is contact our Office of Academic Support Services. You can go by in person or you can call as early as possible, not just in the semester, but now. You should do it now if you need that. And we'd be happy to make any accommodations that you need in order to do that. And I'd like to point out that we do support the principles of an equitable community that Lehigh has adopted, meaning that we respect every every person in the class's background, viewpoints, perspective. And although there are some specific things we'll be learning about grant writing and fundraising, it doesn't mean that there's only one perspective to approach that. I think there are some best ways to do it, which I'm obviously showing you. But everybody has particular ideas and backgrounds that they bring to that, and particular experiences. And we also want to respect each other and be respectful in the way that we interact with each other, both online and face-to-face. What got me started on looking at the syllabus in the first place and reminding myself that we need to do that? There is a book that you should have called Getting Funded, The Complete Guide to Writing Grant Proposals, 5th edition, from Howlett and Bork. This is a really important and interesting text. I have a hard copy on my desk right over there. You're going to want to get a copy of that. It's going to be a resource that you will use, I think, for the rest of your career. And so make sure that you get a copy that you're willing to keep on your shelf and refer to frequently, because I think it will help you a lot. You'll see that grading and assignments are broken down really in a very specific way, just by participating. In other words, demonstrating that you are participating every day in class or online or both. You get 5 points. That could be the difference between an A- and a B+ if you're on the line, or between an A and an A- if you're a super stellar student. So make sure that you're paying attention to participating. You will have a proposal presentation that you will actually record for the rest of the class, and then we'll post online towards the end of the session. And then you'll see that there are points for every day's activities. So you want to make sure that you're keeping on track of what we're doing every day, and you'll get points accordingly. All right, there's a course schedule. This again aligns exactly, and it should align exactly with what is on the website. So if you weren't looking on the website already, you would be doing so if you just clicked over there, and this is exactly what you'll see there. So I'm not going to go through all this in depth because I'm already doing that on the website itself. But you definitely want to have a copy of Howlett and Bork to work through. So this first chapter, it's only 7 pages. It's about how do you talk about organizational readiness? How do you ensure that your organization, school, class, nonprofit, whatever group you're working with is ready for the grant writing or the fundraising process? Then I have several other pieces that I'd like for you to read that are hyperlinked. I'd like for you to read this introduction, and you'll see that this is all from the grant space section of the Foundation Center's website. The Foundation Center is a really, really important organization for those of us who do nonprofit and educational grant writing and fundraising, because they have specifically dedicated themselves to helping grant writers and fundraisers understand what foundations want and need in order to get them to fund your work. Foundations can be a really important source of funding for you. So I'm going to ask you to read several things, and let's see if I can figure out how to get back to the previous page. I'm just going to close that. There we are. And you'll see all this is from the Foundation Center's Proposal Rising. So you're going to read the intro, read the gathering background information, and read the organizational information sections there. And then you're going to watch some videos in Module 1. You're going to watch a 27-minute video from the Foundation Center on what funders really want to know. So how do you know what to do? Well, a great way to start is by getting an insight into what the foundation, the funders in particular, want to know from you. Now, there are going to be instructions that you'll have on usually every request for proposals or call for grant ideas or whatever. But having this sort of inside look into the brain of a funder is a really great way to start. Then I'm asking you to watch a very short video. It's only 5 minutes, called Grant Writing for Teachers. And there are several of these from this Grant Writing for Teachers module or program that's out of the University of Oklahoma. The University of Oklahoma put together an online course called Grant Writing for Teachers, and they have some very short videos that are available on YouTube that I think are really helpful because, for example, in this one, the speaker goes through some important but or maybe obvious but important terms that you need to know when you're thinking about grant writing and fundraising. And so getting some idea of that vocabulary and starting to understand how we talk about this stuff is a really important way to start. Then I'm going to ask you to watch part of what was a webinar called An Introduction to Grant Writing, but I'd like you to look up here and note that I'm only asking you to watch until about the 20-minute mark, actually 20 minutes and 15 seconds. So 20 minutes is what I'd like for you to watch of this. And again, it is going to give you background and introduction to the grant writing process and will serve as a resource for you. So at the end of Module 1, you should have a lot of ideas about what grant writing is, what fundraising is, what are the basic terms, and then how to know if my organization or my group that I'm representing is ready to start that process. Module 1.2, the second module in our first day, is on fundraising strategy. And I'm asking you to read the Principles of Successful Grant Seeking in Howlett and Bork. Again, our basic text, only 7 pages, so should be pretty clear to get through. And then I've got some linked readings for you. And these are these are really interesting readings, by the way. I get excited when I think about this. So this first one, I'm just going to click on it so we can talk about it, is from the Stanford Social Innovation Review journal, and it's called 10 Nonprofit Funding Models. So this is getting you to understand how nonprofits can fund themselves, right? You want to figure out a strategy. How does your nonprofit, or how does your organization or school or class or program or whatever think about funding itself? And so it will run through, well, run through is probably not the right word, but it will review 10 funding models. After the introduction, they start here on page 34, that nonprofits have used. And they've got great names: Heartfelt Connector, Beneficiary Builder. Someone has thought very carefully about what these are and what they mean. And having an idea about what some of these models are is a really important way to understand what the strategy for your own fundraising and grant writing approach can be. Then I'm also asking you to look at this guide to writing a fundraising strategy. This is a more on the nose. This is just direct. How do you write a fundraising strategy? What are some of the steps to doing that and the rationales behind that? This is going to give you in 7 pages a really interesting and easy way to think about it. And then we've got this sort of warning video. It's again another short one from our folks at the University of Oklahoma, talking about this gimme, gimme, never gets. And it's a warning about the kinds of problems with fundraising strategies, especially the ones that only focus on the technology or the infrastructure or kind of what you can get. It's like it's Christmas morning and you're just trying to open the presents as fast as possible. That's never a successful grant writing strategy, and so this gives you some details on that. And then the third module for day 1 is the proposal development process. And again, you'll have a very quick look at a diagram on the proposal development process from Howlett and Bork. It's only 1 page, but I would spend a good 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, just thinking about and looking through this diagram at the different parts, what each of those parts might mean, how it might be applied to your burgeoning idea, and use that as a foundation when you start to look at the other materials that I have in this module for you. One is going to be another one from the Grant Writing for Teachers program or online course about applying. How do you apply for a grant? And it'll be sort of a quick and easy way to think about that. So when you've gone through those 3 modules, and you'll see that the readings are really to the point, the videos are mostly very to the point, you should have answers to all 3 of these questions. Or all 3 of these objectives. How to determine organization, program, or project readiness, you should know that. Where grants fit into your organization's programs or projects' overall fundraising strategy, you should know that. And then what's included in the proposal development or proposal writing process, you should know that by the end of this. So think about what the answers are to those questions. And then when you get to the application activities, these are the things that you need to do by the end of the day today, whatever time zone you're in, by the end of the day today, your day, you should email me the final product. So we have, first of all, a screencast. That's what I'm doing right now, by the way, is I'm screencasting. I'm showing you my screen. There's a little picture of me in the corner, and I'm talking to you about the content. What I want you to do is, first of all, learn how to make a screencast. You can use, I'll just be honest, any tool you want to do this. If you're a screencast aficionado and have been doing this forever, use whatever tool you want. If you're new to the screencast world, I suggest you start with something called Screencast-O-Matic. You can do it completely online or download the app to your computer from this website that's linked right here. There's a video called Screencast-O-Matic 2017 tutorial, which will show you how to go through the process of using Screencast-O-Matic to make a screencast and then recording it. So watch that, learn how to do a screencast if you don't already know. And then here's what I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to create a maximum, let me emphasize maximum here, maximum 10-minute screencast where you do 3 things. You introduce yourself, about 2 minutes. My name's Alex Wiseman. I'm a professor at Lehigh University. You know, I have a background in classroom teaching as well as comparative international education research. My blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for money in this. Then number 2, I'd like for you to spend about 4 minutes discussing which school, nonprofit organization, or project or program you're going to prepare a draft grant proposal for during this class. Pick one you're really familiar with or a part of. Pick one that's real, right? Something that is real to you. That's wonderful. And make sure that it's both important to you and that you have a high level of access to that organization or to that program or project so that you can be the one who really is speaking on behalf of the organization as you need to write this grant. And then finally, I'd like you to spend about another 4 minutes imagining that you're giving away your own money and explain what you would want to know about the group asking you for money. So someone comes to you and says, well, if they're coming to me, they say, Alex, I need $10,000. Let's say I have $10,000 to give them. What do I need to know in order to make that decision? Do I just do it because they asked? Hey, they asked me, I'm going to give it away. Or do I start to think, they probably need to demonstrate some things or show me some things in order for me to believe that it's worthwhile that they receive my $10,000. And let's imagine at the same time that there's more than one person or group coming to you and saying, I need $10,000. So how would you make one group, or what would make one group more appealing than the others in asking for money? Make you want to give that one group the money and not the other group. And then think about how does that help you understand the relationship between grant seeking and the idea of organizational readiness. So this is where the organizational readiness stuff comes back in. What do you need to know about that organization or group or the readiness of that program or project or school in order to feel comfortable and confident giving them that money? I suggest that you create a few slides or a document to show on screen while you talk, and then you save the completed screencast as a video file and share it with me either as an email attachment if it's small enough, or if it's not, use Lehigh's Google Drive and you can share it with me that way, right? You should also know that your screencasts are going to be shared with your classmates so that everybody can see it. It'll be password protected, but you're not just talking to me in the screencast, you're talking to the class. Okay. Finally, I'd like for you to watch your classmates' videos once they're posted, and I'll let you know when they are, and post comments or feedback for them in the leave a reply section at the bottom of this page. All right. Next thing I want you to do is I would like for you to write a readiness assessment. It's 500 words maximum, and you'll see that I'm going to count things in terms of words. That way, font, spacing, all that stuff doesn't matter. You just write 500 words. 500 words is, you'll learn how many pages that is, or you can Google how many words is, one page of single space type text. You'll see that this is not much. So write a readiness assessment of your schools or nonprofit organizations or project or program's level of readiness to seek grants by referring to the information in Chapter 1 of Hallett and Bork and the questions in the checklist for assessing organizational readiness, which is figure 1.1 in Hallett and Bork. And then list which aspects of your organization are grant ready and which aspects require attention. Also, please include a brief description of your school, nonprofit, or project program background. One of the things I want to point out, this seems like a lot of information, and 500 words is not very much. So a key to grant writing is that you have to say as much as possible in as little space as possible. I have yet to see a request for proposals that says something to the effect of, write as much as you want. We don't mind reading a 100-page document. No, they never say that. They always say something like, you have 5 pages single-spaced to make your point and to propose everything. And if you can't fit it all in, then you're probably not going to get funded. They don't say it that roughly, but that's pretty much it. And then, finally, you're going to email your screencast introduction and readiness assessment to me by the end of your day. Whatever your time zone is, by the end of day 1, you're going to email it to me. Finally, post comments and questions at the bottom of the page where it says leave a reply. Here's what I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to post a substantive comment every day about the content of the readings and videos. Then I'd also like for you to use the comment section to ask questions or post ideas about the written assignments as the course progresses. This is something that where you're looking for feedback from your colleagues in the class. And so not only are you going to be posting, but you're also, I'm telling you, you have to be looking at the posted comments as well. I want you to use the discussion board as the last thing you do for the course every day so that it captures all of your thoughts, right? You start at the top of the page and then you move to the bottom. So post comments as the last thing you do every day. Next, I've given you a little hint about what to do in the upcoming days. You're encouraged to look ahead at the following day's activities and especially to prepare for the next day as soon as possible. In particular, starting tomorrow, you're going to need to identify and commit to one idea for your grant proposal that you're going to base all of your assignments around. So you need to have that in mind coming in, right? If you haven't thought of it, think of it quickly. If you're not sure, I'm happy to discuss it with you, but you need to do that as soon as possible. Then watch my final thoughts, and then voila, type something in the leave a reply. Now I'm going to tell you something about leave a reply, and then I won't say it again. The first time you comment, it will not automatically appear because it has to be approved by me. Once your first comment is approved, and you'll have to enter your name and email address. Once you do that and you make a comment and then I approve the comment and it's posted, the next time you try to leave a comment on any of the other days on this website, on this page, or this website, I'll say, not a page, you won't have to be manually approved by me anymore because it will already know that you're okay. Right? This is something I do to keep spammers from leaving replies because that happens sometimes. So just know that the first time you leave a reply, it's not going to immediately appear. After you've been approved the first time, it should appear automatically on all future posts on the whole website. The trick is whatever email you use to log in to the WordPress site here when you post a comment, that's the same email you should use every time so it doesn't think you're a new person every time and I don't have to approve every time. Okay, that's it. If you have questions, please let me know. You can reach me at aww207@lehigh.edu or if you are joining me for the course live in a classroom, hey, we'll see each other face to face. You can ask me questions then. All right, thanks a lot, and I hope that you are having a great day, and I'm excited about the class. I hope you are too.